Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Learn. So if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and click the bell icon to get the latest notifications. So today we are here with depository system part 2. Okay, and in part 1 we discussed about what is depository system, its objectives, its functions and what is meant by dematerialization and rematerialization. So if you have not seen that video, the link is given in the description box. Please check it out. Okay. So in this video, we will be discussing about the Indian depository system, the drawbacks faced by the Indian depository system and the remedial measures taken by SEBI. Okay, so let's start the video. Indian depository system. So when did India feel a need for a depository system? To know that we will have to travel back to 1990s. Okay, in 1992, there were so many irregularities and so many scams were coming out, and the major example is the Harshit Mehta scam, the biggest scam in India in 1992. So after the outcome of that scam, India decided, or India realized the need for a depository system. Okay, so in India, the need for setting up of a depository system was realized after large scale of irregularities in securities transaction of 1992 was exposed, and the limitations of the prevailing system were uh, coming forward. Okay, so the depository system was initiated by the Stockholding Corporation of India Limited, that is SHCIL, in July 1992. Okay, and this Depositories Act was passed by the Parliament in August 1996, and thus comes starts the beginning of a depository system in India. Okay, so the National Securities Depository Limited, that is NDSL, is the first depository which has been promoted by IDBI, UTI, and NSE in November 1996. Okay, so this NSE has set up, NSE, that is National Stock Exchange, has set up this NSDL, known as National Securities Deposit Limited, in 1996. Okay, and the NSE was helped by IDBI and UTI in promotion of this NSDL. Okay, so what is the name of the depository developed or promoted by Bombay Stock Exchange? So Bombay Stock Exchange has promoted CDSL, that is Central Depository Service Limited, in 1999. Okay, so in India there is two major stock exchanges and there is two major depository system. NSE, that is National Stock Exchange, promoted National Securities Depository Limited, NDSL, in 1996, and second one is Bombay Stock Exchange, and it promoted CDSL, that is Central Depository Services Limited, in 1999. So these are the major two depositories in India. Okay, so I will tell once more. The need for setting up of a depository system in India was realized in 1992 when the scams and the irregularities of stock exchange were coming out. So first, the Stockholding Corporation of India Limited, that is HSCIL, in July 1992 initiated in promoting or in building up of a depository system, and the Depositories Act was passed by the Parliament in August 1996, and NDSL, that is National Securities Depository Limited, was the first depository in India, that is in 1996, which was promoted by National Stock Exchange. Okay, then in 1999, BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange, promoted the second depository, that is Central Depository Service Limited. Okay, so I hope it's clear till now. And if you want to know more about this Harshit Mehta scam or 1992 scam, you can please comment down and I will be doing a video on Harshit Mehta scam or 1992 scam. Okay, so let's see the drawbacks of Indian depository system. So the first drawback of Indian depository system was multiple depository. Okay, as depository is a service institution and each service, the cost of the service has to be borne by the investor or the investor participants. Okay, so when there is multiple depositories, the cost will also be higher. Okay, so the investor had to bear the transaction cost, and which is higher, and had to face inferior services, and this only made it complicated to transact or to interact with the stock exchange. Okay, so this was the major problem. Okay, the second problem was Clearing and Settlement Corporation. Clearing and Settlement Corporation is an inevitable part of a depository system, but SEBI and our depository organization completely ignored this Clearing and Settlement Corporation. There should be a centralized clearing and settlement corporation to clear out all the trade transactions so that the depositories can look after the backworks. Okay, so the need for establishment of a clearing and settlement corporation was a major need. So that was also a drawback. The next drawback was in dematerialization of securities. Okay, whether to dematerialize their shares or not, it was a company's decision. Companies can choose their own time to dematerialize. Due to this situation, the investors had to go through a lot of hardships. So, dematerialization of securities was also a major difficulty or a problem for the investors. The next major drawback was inter-depository competition. Okay, so there were more than one depository in India, and each of these depository were competing with each other to catch the business. So in long run, it was only creating a hardship and affecting the service of these industry. Okay, so inter-depository competition was also a major drawback. Another major drawback of Indian depository system was lack of interest in demat trading. That is, the people were not much aware of this demat trading, and people were not interested, especially the retail owners or retail businessmen or persons were not much interested because they were not having the knowledge. They were worried about have to pay more tax, or well, they were not aware of this system, so they didn't show up to dematerialize their securities. So lack of interest to dematerialize their trading or open a demat account or go for a demat trading was a major drawback for Indian depository system. So the next major problem was prevalent of different rates. Okay, so the companies who joined this depository had two different rates. Okay, one rate in as of a demat trading and one rate in a physical form. Okay, so this two different rate created confusion and hardship and also affected the smooth functioning of our demat trading. Okay, so this was also a major drawback of Indian depository system. The next major drawback faced by the depository system was chances of misuse. Okay, so these demat were going on with the return instruction. Okay, so many people or many investors were giving cancelled shares for dematerialization by saying to change the address or with a fake signature. So the system was started to be misused by these investors. So misusing of the system was also a major drawback. Okay, then the next drawback was loss of individual identity. Okay, once these shares are dematerialized, it loses its identity. So losing of an individual identity was also a major concern. So the drawbacks of Indian depository system were, first one is multiple depository, then there was a need for clearing and settlement corporation, and which was not there. Then dematerialization of securities, competition between inter-depositories was also a major drawback. Then lack of interest or lack of knowledge of demat trading to the public created less interest in dematerializing. So that also created a problem. Then two rates by the company, one in physical form and one in depository, that also created a lot of confusion and problem for the investors. Then chances of misuse and also the loss of identity. So these were the major drawbacks that were faced by Indian depository system. Okay, so now let's see what are the remedial measures taken by SEBI and the depository systems to remove all these drawbacks or come out of these drawbacks. Okay, so the first step taken by SEBI to come out of these constraints was, first one is public awareness program. As I said earlier, that is the people or the public or the investors were not aware of demat trading or how to dematerialize and what are the benefit of this. So they showed a lack of interest in demat trading. So SEBI started to give public awareness program, started to uh, inform people about how this demat trading works, its benefit. So they first started the public awareness program. Secondly, they gave directions to company, that is every listed securities should be dematerialized, every share should be dematerialized, and also SEBI specified a date and scheduled a date. By that date, every listed company should dematerialize their shares. Okay, this was an order or a directive given by SEBI. Thirdly, they started simultaneous application. Okay, that is, some companies were dematerializing their shares, and at the same time they were trading in the stock exchange. Okay, so at the same time investors also can apply for demat. So simultaneous applications were also taken to make this process a faster process. Okay, then the fourth one was, so the amendment was made in 1996 by SEBI that the registrar to the issue or agent of transfer who are eligible can also become a depository participant. Okay, so these are the amendments made by SEBI. Okay, the next one was procedures for interconnectivity. SEBI brought in a procedure for interconnectivity of these components or segments in a depository in dematerialization process, so that the dematerialization process became very smooth. Okay. The next remedial measure taken was change of limit. Okay. That is, now the depository participant is allowed to keep the client's asset 100 times the net worth of the brokers. Okay. Earlier it was only 35 times of the broker's net asset worth 750 lakhs, and 50 times more if it costs more than 750 lakhs. Now it changed the limit, and now it is like 100 times the net worth of the brokers. Okay. So this was a remedy taken by SEBI. The next measurement taken was interconnection infrastructure. That is, if a depository participant is maintaining more than 5,000 account, they should have direct electric connection with the depository. Okay, so this created a lot of waste of time. That is, the depository can connect directly to the depository participant. Okay, this was one of the remedy. The next remedy was appointment of registrar and share transfer agent. So SEBI said that every company should appoint same registrar and same share transfer agent for both the depositories. Okay, this was the rule of SEBI. So that was also a remedial measure. The next remedial measure was partial dematerialization. So now the registrars and the share transfer agents has also should do or take the request of partial dematerialization. That is, they cannot reject a lot of dematerialization request at a stretch. So they have to take up partial dematerialization also. Okay. So the next remedy was forming a standing committee. So SEBI formed a standing committee to monitor all these functions and smooth functioning of this depository system. The next was simplification. So the usually a registrar will start the process once he get information from the depository participant and also the physical share. Okay. So now SEBI made it more simpler and told them if they get the information from the depository participant, they can start the process of dematerialization even though they do not have the physical share with them. Okay. So thus the process of dematerialization was also simplified by SEBI. Okay. The next one was open depository participant branches. That is, so that's all for today. So if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up and share the channel with all the commerce students you know. And please give your precious feedback under the comment section. And also tell me if you want a video on Scam 1992. Okay. So subscribe to Let's Learn and click the bell icon to get the latest notification as I'm uploading a commerce video on a daily basis. Okay. So for more commerce video, keep watching Let's Learn. Thank you.